Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Arr. Hello, hello, hello. Greeting, welcome, salutation, one and none. Just sort the cables and stuff out a bit. You know, it is when things go awry. There we go. Kind of back in the right place now. Well, happy Father's Day to the male contingent and some of the female contingent who do end up being fathers as well, having to fulfill both roles. I'm just a fish dad, the cod father, if you will. But I got spoiled by my fishies today, so I'm all happy. I've got some chocolates and some models and stuff, so all good. And yes, it's bloody hot again. As I've said many a time, I don't like the heat. I don't do well in the heat. I'm too fat and hairy for the heat. Tommy, how you doing, you spexy beast? When I say hot, I mean hot for the UK. So 25, 26, I think today. But it's been a warm few days, so the ground has got warm as well, so everything's warm. It is still cooling off quite nicely at night, thankfully, so I am able to sleep. I don't do well in the heat. And I've got one of them weeks coming up as well at work. I'm not sure whether I like it or I hate it. I do 4 shifts a week. I'm doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It does mean I get a nice long stretch off at the back end of the week. I've got a 4-day weekend. But then it's having to go 4 days on the trot. It was hot here about an hour ago. Now I'm wearing long sleeves. The storm came in, got the temperature 20 degrees. Yeah, not cool enough for long sleeves, but the rain is cold. Good, good, good. We like a good cold rain. We had a nice thunderstorm Friday night. Just about heard. I saw a couple of flashes and heard the rumbles and fell back asleep again. But the ground is still damp today, which shows you how much rain we had. And yes, the plants are loving it. And yes, when I was getting Latte's leaves for her, yeah, I ran a whole bunch more brambles that I had to pull up, because the sooner you pull them up, the quicker they die off. If you don't give them a chance to photosynthesize, yeah, then the roots die. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, also, when they're smaller, they're a lot easier to pull up and they don't spike your fingers. So what have we been up to this week? Work, water changes, cave time. Had a Temu order turn up. Literally all but one thing, modelling supplies. And that other one thing was 50, what size would be A6? A6 size pictures of Lovecraftian monsters. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with them. Might have a go at bookbinding at some point. There's plenty of videos online on how to do it. I can't see as I need that many more tools to at least do a bad job of it anyway. What else? Yes, I built the mini Gundam and painted that, and then I finished off the paper plane as well. It came out a lot better than I thought it did. Let's put it that way. I was expecting it to be a lot more a dog's dinner than it actually ended up being. The plane, that is, not the Gundam one. I was going to nail the Gundam. Dear. Wash my hair again. She's gone all fluffy and floppy and doesn't stay where I want it to because it's not got grease in it. Yeah, the joys of long hair. So yeah, what other models did we get? So paper U-boat, paper Mark II Viper from the Battlestar Galactica original series. A little dinky one of Barcelona Cathedral. A wooden model of Notre Dame Cathedral, which really doesn't look that great, but I'll build it anyway. Chrome pen, Lily Munster miniature figure, 75mm, so 3 inches. Some dry brushes. That's about it, I think. And freebies should be here in a week or so. That's the reason I ordered it, is because I qualified for a bunch of free gifts. And that's mostly more modelling materials as well. A couple of figures, a bike model, and some tools. Kind of stuff that just comes in useful. And when you think to buy it, oh yeah, I've got to get one of them. And then when you do go to buy it, you realise you're somewhere they're rather expensive. And I'd rather not pay £10-15 for something I'm going to use rarely. I'd rather pay 1 or 2. Yeah. And this week's video update on the garden, which, as Tommy has said, I'm sure everyone can see, it's all growing in rather well. Just the one casualty. We've got about half of the bulbs I planted have come up, so whether the other ones are just waiting, or they're later flowering or later growing, we'll find out, or whether they've just not done anything. Yeah, all going quite surprisingly well at the moment. No dramas at work. Although I did spend about half an hour yesterday explaining to somebody how a torque wrench works. Yes, they were of the opinion that no, if you got a 1/2 inch fastener, you use this much torque. Well, it depends on the application. It depends what the torque rating is for that part, not the bolt. Yeah, but if it's a 1/2 inch, no, that's not how it works. Might be how it used to work, and then obviously they're having to explain that it's not done in foot-pound anymore, it's done in Newton meters. Even though it's a 1/2 inch torque wrench. Yay, go British system, where we use some metric, some imperial, just to confuse people. Yeah, that was an interesting conversation. And as my colleague said, good job they went to you, because I wouldn't have had a bloody clue. Right. Pretty sure nobody else who works here would have had a clue about how a torque wrench works. There we go. And the thing is, the bolt he wanted to torque up was the crankshaft on a really old tractor. I mean, really, really old. So I'm stood there trying to tell him the right way, and I'm thinking, it's a bloody crankshaft on the tractor. Just tighten it as much as you can, and then get a longer bar and tighten it more. It's something you don't want to come undone, so you just don't do it up as tight as you bloody well can. Or you stop rebuilding ancient tractor engines. You know, that is the thing. Might be 70, 100 years old or whatever, but it's, you know, still fixable and runnable, and probably more reliable than a modern day one that probably needs servicing every half a field. Has to be serviced by a qualified and trained technician. You know, just changing the oil and checking the brake pads or whatever. I can do that. Oh no, it needs to be, because we've connected it up to a computer. Because it's all computerized. If you do it without the correct computer, then it won't work. It's agricultural machinery. It doesn't need to be complicated. The less complicated you can make it, the better. Howdy, Jeff. How you diddling? Which is why I still don't understand why Harley Davidson do things the way they do. It's basically an agricultural motorbike. It's basically built like an agricultural machine. Goes and handles like one anyway. What do you mean proper suspension geometry and variable rising rate and damping? What? Even a cassette style gearbox that actually sits in the crankcase of the engine. You mean we don't need to use an extra half a ton of steel to make it? Yeah, that's my rant about overcomplicating things that don't need to be complicated. It's like being given a scale drawing of a triangle and then being told to calculate the length of the hypotenuse. Okay, I'll just measure it then. You mean Harley is finally getting into the 20th century? Where are they up to now? About the 80s? Oh dear. Yeah, I just never got Harleys. I've had a go on one. I've ridden one. It was bloody horrible. Oh, Tommy's being fed. Had lunch brought out to him. Ooh, what you eating, Tom? That's what, is it Father's Day in the States today? Not that it makes any difference. I'm not sure about that. It might be able to cheapen them enough to compete with him. It is Father's Day. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, grilled cheese and tomato soup. So cheese on toast and tomato soup. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of tomato soup, but cheese on toast I can definitely go for. An oxtail soup would work well as well. Or a Stilton and broccoli. Here's me trying to sound all foodie, knowing full well I've got microwave pizzas for tea. Dip it in the soup. Well, I mean, I suppose it saves you putting ketchup on the cheese on toast, which is generally what I do. Ketchup and Worcester sauce, or if you're not putting the ketchup on, just Worcester sauce. Or Worcestershire sauce, to give it its correct name. Or Lee and Perrins, if you can't be bothered to try and pronounce Worcestershire. Most things, there are several name brands of the product. Right? Several different Heinz ketchup, Daddies ketchup, whatever other ones. Yeah, all the different soy sauces and brown sauces. You got Daddies, HP, Heinz again. Worcester sauce, you've got own brand, or you got Lee and Perrins. So yeah, just say Lee and Perrins. Worked on Willie G. Davidson's HVAC equipment at his vacation home. HVAC. Vacation homes. Never saw the point of a vacation home. It's just like a home that you only use at a certain point of the year. Yeah, I prefer a Sukiyaki or a Kutum. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go dirt bikes, then yeah, KTMs or Huskies. Suzuki's, yeah, the Gixxers are good. I don't know what. Bit out of touch with what's new. One of my work colleagues had a GXR or a GSR, the 800, and it just didn't seem in proportion for me. The exhaust was all short and stubby and quiet, and I'm like, no, dirt bike's your style. Yeah, I was, not that I am anymore, screaming two strokes on road. So old Yamahas or old Hondas or Kawasaki's. I was the one who bought the Dunlop tyre, and if it said Dunlop across the sidewall or Firestone or whatever brand you use, it was literally like the first part of it was left. So the bit around the centre of the tyre was okay. But yeah, it was a sidewall that had the wear on it. Better nowadays for the two smokers. Two strokers here. Well, two strokes have been illegal for years, so you can still get like a lawnmower or a strimmer or a weed whacker. But yeah, you can't buy a two-stroke engine vehicle. Rather dirt bike, headlights, desert tank headlight, make your own enduro. Yeah, I mean, and there goes a dirt bike. European fuel injection. Good. Fuel injection is much superior to carburetors. Race Yammies when I was racing. Dad raced KTMs. Well, I think the coolest thing that KTM do make is the crossbow. I'm not sure if that's available in the States. It might be seen as a bit too small and dangerous. It's basically track racing or track day car. It is road legal. Wouldn't necessarily want to drive it on the road, especially not the roads around here. Well, apparently racing on the Nürburgring isn't too good for it either, because there was one a couple of years ago, it just went up in flames. That was probably just a fuel pipe came adrift and sprayed fuel over the exhaust. Or was it an oil line? It was either a fuel pipe or an oil line. KTM is 2001, currently broken. Isn't that the way dirt bikes should be, though? But my 94 YZ125 could be a fuel injected YZ125. I mean, if your 94 one was factory standard, probably not. But I can guarantee you it wasn't factory standard. At the very least, you move the E-clip on the main needle in the carburettor. Yeah, race pro got paid to race. Nothing stuck on the bike. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even a 125, it was a 187. Yeah, it reminds me of my old Elsie. Well, that was a lot older. Old Yami RD125 LC. That was an ex-race bike that I got from a breakers or scrapyard, whatever you want to call it. Tore the fairing off, stuck some lights on it, and put it on the road. Yes, I remember voicing. Sponsored. Yeah, like me with my RC cars. Some of them, there wasn't a single original part left on them. Howdy, Yella, Sammy boy. Stick branch caught my leg and engaged the kickstart. Ton of shavings came out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's shredded the kickstart at least. Possibly the crank. Yeah. Not even the original Nissan carb. Yeah, those Nissan carbs were bomb-proof. If the thing started running rough, you just gave it a squirt of carb cleaner and off you went again. Everything just worked. Just rebuilt the top end the year before. So. Well, at least now you get to rebuild the bottom end. Yeah, that was the thing with two strokes, wasn't it? Constantly rebuilding the top end of the engine. Because I'd run beautifully right up until the last few seconds of life when the piston lubricated itself. Because it melted. Yeah, I think I used to get, what, about 1,000 miles out of a piston if I was lucky. Which worked out about right, because it was pretty much what I was getting to the rear tyres as well, so... Yes, I rode like an animal. Yes, I lost my license. No, I don't regret it. Yeah, exactly. You learned how to tie a rope around the roofing beam in the garage or garage. Hoist the bike up so the at least one wheel was off the floor, and then you could work on it. And jet fuel. Yeah, a bit like the time we put nitromethanol in a fizzy. That didn't go well. Blew the head off, literally. Yeah, we managed to kill it. Yamaha. Was it a Yamaha or was it a Honda? No, it's a Honda fizzy, isn't it? Was it Yamaha? I can't remember. Yeah, it's just very high octane fuel. Hay fever. Too much smoking, or not enough, one or the other. Yeah, run it mid-rich, practice day, super lean on race day. As you run it rich, so it runs nice and cool. Yamaha fizzy. Yeah, yeah. Then on race day, you give it the full beans, and well, if it goes bang, then it goes bang. Win or bin, huh? That was actually the sticker I used to run on the bottom of all my RC cars when I was racing. Yeah, that was the thing. The four strokes are sort of big and heavy for what they were. It was like, nah, it's too heavy. It's got a similar amount of power to the 125 two-stroke, but it weighs about twice as much. Like, no. Although there are 125s you can buy, or 125 scooters you can buy these days. That, they're really good. Yeah, really. Oh, yeah, it's also really good. Got 9 horsepower. It's a 125. How do you manage to get that little horsepower out of it? I've got RC car engines that make nearly half that. Oh yeah, hand-built turbo crank Rossi engines. Yes, silly powerful. Then I put a supercharger on it, and the exhaust melted. Uh, 2-stroke better than 4-stroke. Environmentally, nowhere near as environmentally pretty much catastrophic, but much more fun. There was a point in, I think it was the 80s, it must have been the 80s, might have been the early 90s, where the police force in the UK, traffic police, didn't have many. There were Ford Fiestas, if you remember those from back then, like your 4-door hatchback. They were slightly modified in that they had a 2-stroke 3-cylinder engine in them. Yeah, they were quick. The Enduro. Yeah. I mean, that is the only thing with small 2-strokes. If you're on a long ride, Two strokes get real tiring real fast. Having ridden them for a long way. Yeah, and once they get hot, they don't want to start again. We've all seen the cartoons where someone jumps on the kickstart of a motorbike and then gets launched. And we've all seen the ones where people have tried to hand crank an engine, the old engines where you had the crank handle on the front of them. And they tried to crank that and it's gone back and snapped their wrist. Couldn't start it without the decompression switch. Yeah. Long rides. Yeah, any kind of long journey on a two-stroke was painful. Electric start does have its place, but yeah, doesn't have that visceral feeling of that 1949 hand start John Deere tractor. Yeah, I bet that thing's tried to break your wrist a few times, hasn't it? But again, like I was saying earlier about the ancient tractor the guy was trying to rebuild. Yeah, it just goes and goes and goes. Maybe a decompression switch. I think there are days when we all need a decompression switch. Yeah, I bet you to get that thing up and running again, clean fuel, yeah, because the fuel in it's probably going to be stale as whatever and probably not flammable anymore. Clean the plugs, new battery. Yeah, I know it won't have a battery, will it? Yeah, change the oil, probably just start up and keep running. It's the thing with these old things. YouTube used to be my decompression switch. Yeah, I find these days that it keeps serving things up to me that annoy me. So if I just leave it to play whatever comes next, yeah, it will come up with things that just annoy me. So my decompression was riding my bike, and I will at some point get back to that. But now, yeah, it's just sitting up in the cave in blissful quiet, just sticking bits of plastic or cardboard or wiping paint on things. Speaking of which, let's grab this week's finishes, shall we? So we have yeah, the back a bit might focus then. No, it's not going to focus. Baby Gundam. And yes, no stickers. Well, not just the metallic blue eyes and the ones on his head. The rest of it's all paint. And then the paper French plane. Yes. When I say paper, it is more like thin cardboard, but you know, and yes, cutting out that canopy was absolutely terrifying. Hello, Debs. How are you? Previous owner ran ethanol, ate the inside of the carburetor. Hunting for a used carb. Probably be one on eBay. Well, I don't know, would it be? There's probably someone who's making them. You're then into what is the cost of an artisan handmade new carburetor going to be? I don't think I want to know. Yeah, these things do have it. As soon as you mention the words milling machine or lathe, you just start adding zeros to the cost, don't you, really? Let's be honest. Yeah, I can mill you one of those. No, don't bother. Clean the reason jet, call it good, yeah. 500 is the cheapest that I've found. 800, yeah. So if the tractor's only worth 800, then spending 500 on the carb is probably not worth it. Oh, it's weird because that probably sell for a lot more over here. We do have people who collect tractors. We have tractor rallies where people with all their old tractors get together and in their dirty blue overalls and talk about things in imperial measurements. Yeah, different story on a diesel carb. That's not right. Yeah, you don't really want to be putting ethanol in a diesel. Yeah, they really don't like it. Yeah, I think it's probably worth more just scrap metal value. The amount of weight of steel that's probably in that thing and cast iron is probably worth quite a few bucks just in the weight of the metal. Also, the copper, there's not going to be a lot of wiring in that to pull the copper out of. Yeah, quite an expensive fix. I could rebuild my Suburban's transmission for that. Yeah, and so the thing is, the carburetor on the old John Deere is probably better made than the transmission on the Suburban. Certainly made to last longer. Let's put it that way. Yeah, everything these days is built with a finite lifespan. Once it gets to a certain age, it's just like, no, get a new one. It's like things like TVs and DVD players or Blu-ray players. Back in the old days of TVs and VCRs, when they went wrong, you got them repaired. Now you just get a new one because the new one is cheaper than repairing the old one. And that's kind of a sad state of affairs, really. It should be cheaper to repair something than to buy a new one. In some cases, it probably is, but they don't make it easy to repair some. That will flip at some point. I don't know, because that's how the companies make money. Look at the old companies that build you a tool that would last you for life. That you'd hand it down to your children when you kick the bucket. There's no money to be made in that, because you make one tool, you sell one tool, and then that person is no longer a customer. So what you have to do is make that thing slightly better than the opposition and make it last slightly longer and charge a lot more for it. Hey, Big Tank Hank. How you doing? Always good to see you. The fraud of investing, yeah. Yes, shareholders. If we could get rid of the stock markets, only have things on the stock markets that have an inherent value on their own, like gold, silver, oil, those kind of things, oak trees, and get rid of take all the businesses away. No, you don't do shareholders anymore. You own your business. If you can't afford to keep in business, you don't have people give you more money to stay in business. You go out of business. Pretty simple concept. Yes. And of course, then as soon as you've got the investors or the shareholders involved, then it all becomes about making them happy and making them money. Yeah, build a business of a reputation and not share value. That was like the whole digital boom, wasn't it, in the 90s? Was it the 90s or the noughties? I can't remember. Too long ago. It's over a quarter of a century, whatever it is. When all the tech companies' stocks just soared and everyone was buying and buying and buying and issuing more and more and more, and then they all crashed. Bit like all the digital currencies are going to at some point. Most of them already have. Yeah, no, it was later in the 80s. There was a tech boom, and then I think it was around about the time the internet started happening, and then all the tech companies. It was like, oh, there's loads of money to be made in tech and software. Everyone invest in it. Everyone invest in it. And people invested in a lot of really bad ideas. I remember there was an old Simpsons skit where Bart or Lisa were working for some tech company. They were being paid in shares, and he was basically and the guy goes to pay him, he's just tearing them off a toilet roll. Literally what they were. Yeah, it happens every so often. I'm just waiting for the social media crash. That will be funny. And it was funny enough when TikTok got banned for what, 12 hours in the States. Just the oh my god, sheer panic, because like it's just a social media platform. It doesn't mean anything. The only reason it has any value is because people click on it and scroll past all the adverts that they don't want to see. Usually for really bad mobile games or scam products. Like the Japanese knives. No, they're not. They're just cheap Chinese tat, just in a pretty box. Or the established titles one where you could buy a parcel of land in Scotland and you would become a laird. No, you can't just. No, it doesn't work like that. And all the people who bought their land in Scotland and then found out, oh, what do you mean we don't actually own it? We only own it virtually. This company didn't actually buy up all the land and then sell it off. Oh, they just told us. I think that's been rebranded into a game or something. Well, the concept is a game now anyway. Atlas Earth, I think it's called. And yes, the advert for that is very annoying as well. It seems like the art of making decent advertisements has died. So we're going to make an advert for this. Okay, so what do? Well, we don't show what it is that we're selling. We don't tell you what it does. We don't tell you how much it's going to cost. Why it's better than the other ones. And if we are going to give you any numbers, we're not going to base them in reality or science or anything provable. We're going to make them up. That's what they do. Much like certain glass making slag salesmen. Hey, fishy reference. Ooh. Oh, that's a point. Oh, I do need to do some fishy videos, at least one. There's been quite a bit, I say quite a bit going on. There's been quite a bit happened since the last one, so it'd probably be a good idea. And I'm still toying with the idea of turning this Flex into a salty tank. But I don't know what I'd want to keep in it. Because I'm pretty sure there's nothing I could keep in a salty tank that would be easy to breed and make money from. So got Google modded and didn't notice until I refreshed. I'm not entirely sure what for. There's nothing that's come up here, and I've got everything set so you can basically type whatever you like. So, I like to trust that people are going to be fairly sensible. Yeah, they won't tell me, no. I trust that the people who are going to sit and watch and listen to me waffle on for a couple of hours are fairly sensible. There's going to be the occasional swear in there, the occasional bad joke. Yeah, nothing too extreme. And if there is something, then I'm perfectly capable of deleting it myself. It's really not that hard. It's not like I've got 300 people here and the chat's screaming by at warp speed. They're starting over and burning. Yeah. Yeah, the old the old, oh no, the factory burnt down. Here, Mr. Insurance Company, here's my claim. Let's start again, shall we? Yeah, there are certain. It is weird. I mean, it's like when I've done it before, and I've found something on Facebook and reposted it, and forward it, whatever you call it, and then I get a ban for doing it. I found it on Facebook. It was obviously okay. Or the things that you see in the ads on YouTube that if you tried putting into a video, the video would be demonetized instantly. Get Google modded frequently enough, I'm used to it. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you watch the replays and they bleep out half of what I'm talking about. Go back through the live stream videos, none of them are 2 hours long. Oh, about 45 minutes or something. Most of which is me going, rolling cigarettes. Mind you, that would probably get taken out as well. Speaking of which, where's my pipe? Yeah, pipey. Yeah, I'm usually fairly good at avoiding these things these days. Mind you, I avoid social media. YouTube is basically my social media. It's like, yeah, I could start posting my models on Facebook or whatever. I just auto delete them. Yeah, I've normally, or anything I've had that's had an issue before, I get an email from YouTube about it or a message. If you want to, blah blah blah, this whatever. If you don't think this is correct, fill in this survey. Rightio. No, this is why I think you've got it wrong. And then an actual human watches it and goes, "Oh yeah, that was obviously a joke." Or no, they're not advocating for that. Yeah, that's okay. Just the AI bot doesn't share the same sense of humor. It can't detect sarcasm yet. Mind you, there's plenty of people can't detect sarcasm, so I don't blame the AI for not being able to. I mean, it can't figure out how many freaking fingers and limbs people should have, let alone with sarcasm. Gone out straight away. Joy. Oh, am I still using this thing? Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, I haven't got anything that's been deleted. I know I've not got any strikes against me or anything, which is kind of miraculous considering half the stuff I end up talking about. And that video I did on narcissism in modelling, that's still up there. Probably because I was against it. So it is kind of getting ridiculous. No copyright warnings, because literally everything I do is mine. And I'm pretty sure when I sing something, poor old algorithm ain't got a clue what the heck I'm singing. And I don't sing enough of it, and I'm not playing the original version either, so that does get me though, when you get like the reactors and they put up their tearful video about how they're being done for copyright content. Like, well, you have just been sitting playing the entire video and then going, yeah, I like that, or no, I don't like that, or literally pausing it after a minute to go, yeah, sorry, I've got to pause it for YouTube for copyright reasons. So no, you're doing a reaction video to a music video or a song, but you don't actually have anything to add to it. You don't have anything to say yourself, your own thoughts or feelings, or be able to break it down what's happening in the song. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that kind of content if you can't do that. Because all the people that do that don't have any problems with copyright strikes. Actually, that's a point. Speaking of copyrights, using the pipe for pointing purposes, I was going through. This is ridiculous. I was going through. Well, yeah. Shall I say? No, I won't name it. A certain website that I may have gotten quite a few things from lately. Looking at modelling supplies and model kits and things like that, like I do at work, because there was nothing happening and I was bored. And I'm like, oh, Gloucester Meteor. Oh, that's quite a cool plane. I recognise that model. I recognise that damn photograph. That's my bloody model. Yeah. An online ad for the product that, what made me laugh is it's not even the same kit. Because mine was the Airfix and this one wasn't. And yeah, they found, obviously they just Googled Gloucester Meteor, blah blah blah, and found pictures of Google Gloucester Meteor model or whatever search engine they use, and then just picked a bunch of pictures that looked good of models of it, and then put them up on the advert. And yeah, one of them was mine. So, technically, I could probably go after them for copyright, but as I uploaded it to a public forum, and it's years ago I built it, I just found it funny. And it's not like I'm going to make money off of it, is it? All they're going to do is delete the picture. I don't even think I've got the original anymore. Don't even think I've got the plane anymore. Yeah, that did just strike me as funny though. But well, yeah, what can you say really? Anyway, what else have we got to waffle about? Yes, what I got from my Daddy's Day presents. Um, so Mary, on behalf of the fish, got me a Book Nook model of it's a greenhouse one, which kind of fits with the garden, and then paper models of a T-34 tank. And given my love of Russian tanks, and the flying pancake, which I'm pretty sure Tommy will know what the flying pancake is. It's probably responsible for a lot of UFO sightings back when it was being tested. XU, what was it, 501, something like that. Yeah, there's an experimental plane that the American or US Air Force had for testing. Is it a Vought? I think it might be a Vought. Yeah, it's a very strange looking thing, but it should be an interesting model to build. It's not something I would have picked for myself, so it'll be fun. Maybe once I've got the castle I've started done. Because I started the Hohenzollern castle cardboard paper model. I've gone through the first sheet, literally an entire A4 sheet of card, or foolscap, or whatever size you call it. In the States, I think it's you don't use the A system, do you? And it's built into something about that big. But there's like 17 sheets of card to that model, I think. So it'll keep me occupied for a while. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be painting the Lily Munster figurine that I got, or miniature. It is Lily Munster in a bra and panties. Because if there's one thing I need practice painting, it's skin, flesh. So, and the one way to practice doing that is to paint lots of it, and the way you get to paint lots of it is by having scantily clad models. You're not going to get a chance to do a lot of flesh painting if all that is visible is the face or the hands. I think my main issue is being slightly shade blind. So for me to notice that the paint is a different color when I'm doing the highlighting, shading, all that stuff, has to be a fairly big difference in the color, which then shows up really badly on the finished model. Is also getting the paint thin enough. So I might have to break out the wet palette and practice using that. Pardon me. If it's still usable. It's been sat on the shelf in the cave for about 6 or 7 years at this point. And it was put away wet, so it's probably mouldy. And the other one I'm going to have to do is go through all my paintbrushes and see which ones are any good and how many hundreds I've got in the bin. It could be an amusing short video. how many paintbrushes does a modeler actually need, and how many they actually have? Yeah, the answer, bloody hundreds. Maybe not hundreds, but certainly enough to fill at least 2 mugs, maybe 3. I mean large mugs, like coffee mugs. One of these days I'll figure out how to blow smoke rings properly. What else have I got to waffle on about tonight? Not a lot, actually. Unless there's anything anyone else would like to talk about. Because I'm definitely getting a bit warm sitting here. It's definitely starting to cloud over again. Did try raining earlier, but didn't really amount to anything. So yes. If nobody has got anything they wish to waffle on about, any subjects, questions, randomness, I'll give it a little bit longer. Enough time to finish my pipe anyway. And then, not at the moment, finally got in the fish room to start water changes. Ooh! That'll be me tomorrow morning and Tuesday morning. Get the water changes done before work. Because I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't really want to be leaving them nearly 2 weeks, because after a week, quite a lot of the filters will be fairly well bunged up. And also I use the water on the garden. So if it doesn't piddle down the rain tonight, it'll definitely need watering tomorrow. I've only got about 3 or 4 2-litre bottles of Coke left, and that's nowhere near enough to water my garden now. So yeah, when I'm doing the water changes, as I will like this week, Monday I'll do the fry rack, Tuesday I'll do the rest. Usually that splits it kind of in half fairly well. And so Monday the water will all go on the garden. And then Tuesday it will get decanted into 2-litre cola bottles. For use later in the week, probably Friday if it doesn't rain in the meantime. Well, definitely wouldn't say no to more thunderstorms. They're always welcome. Well, just as long as I'm not on my way to work or walking the dog. One thing I've noticed, if it's going to rain when I'm out walking the dog, next door's dog Pippa, it will start when we're as far away from home as possible. Won't start when we're a couple of 100 yards down the road. It'll wait till we're like half a mile away, and then it will start raining. But I'm going to get wet. You're going to get wet. And I know which one of us is going to be more grumpy about it at the end of the day, and it ain't me. I think the one bit of snow we had this year, or one decent bit of snow we had this year, decided to snow while we were on our walk. She really did not like snow. Because every time it landed on her face, she was stopping and going, it's just snow. And giving me a look to say, oi, humans, make this stop. Why are you letting this happen to me? Doesn't the sky know who I am? I am Pippa. I am more important. I am the main character in the world. And the way she stops and whinges and cries at people, you think she had the most horrific life. She's very vocal. Let's put it that way. She's not a quiet dog. When she's not barking, she's talking to people. Then she'll want to go up to every dog, cat, or whatever we see. Cats usually run away, which is okay. But then she'll walk up to the dog will want to play or move a bit more quickly than she wants it to, and she'll be hiding behind my legs. But, Pip, you wanted to come over and say hello. You wanted to say hello. You say hello. You don't go hiding now. It's all right, because it means I get to fuss all the floofy dogs. Unfortunately, no attractive young female owners. Young people can't necessarily afford dogs these days, or have the time for them. A lot of people are like that with pets. COVID was like that, wasn't it? Everyone started new hobbies or bought new pets during lockdown, and then had to go back to work, and lockdown ended, and haven't got enough time now to look after this animal that I bought. So all the rescues and the shelters got absolutely jammed, and all the fish tanks went up for sale on Facebook Marketplace and wherever, and they were all massively overpriced. Selling a second-hand Fluval Flex for what a new one cost. But it comes with all this extra stuff. It's got a heater, and it's got some clown puke gravel and some plastic plants, and all these bottles of chemicals we bought because we couldn't keep anything alive for more than 3 days. Yeah. Do you realize all that stuff's going to be going straight in the bin? Maybe not the heater, but the rest of it will. Yeah. That was probably the worst thing about the lockdowns, or the first one especially, the one that went on for like 3 months, was just the amount of things that got bought, and then as soon as life went back to normal, got neglected, left. Pets, fish tanks, bikes, hobbies, all these things that it was something they had time to do, and then they went back to working again, and they're like, well, working and going out again, and they're like, oh, I haven't got time to do that anymore. Well, obviously you didn't enjoy it that much then, did you? Because I know that given the choice between going out to the pub or a bar or whatever, or going up to my spare room, the man cave, and doing some modelling, or going out in the garden and doing some weeding, I know which I'd rather be doing. Both are a hell of a lot cheaper than going out. Give the pipe a stir. All ash on the top again. There's actually a surprising amount of backy left in that. Or is there? No, I think that is virtually all ash now. Let's reburn the ash, shall we? That's better. Yeah, it was all ash. It just went straight out again. Yeah, and it all just fell straight out of the pipe. So, knock out the rest of it. Yeah, it is. Oh, there we go. It all just fell out. And I think we'll make it a shorter stream today because it's Father's Day, and I'm sure all you guys have got other stuff to do. And you gals, as usual, are probably busy as well. I need to get something to eat. So, yeah. Be back to a full 2 hours next week. But we'll call it here today. And, yeah. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for turning up. Having a bit of a natter, a bit of banter, a bit of a listen, a bit of a lurk, whatever you're doing. Howdy replay crew. And you know who you are, but I hope you have a better week this week. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. Happy Father's Day. Bye-bye. Father's Day sharp do 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 do. Father's Day sharp do 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 do. Father's Day sharp do 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 do. Mondays suck do 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 do. Mondays suck do 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 do.